This is Laura Mafka, aka Broken Eyes Run, back at you with another video. And in today's video, I want to talk about how a female narcissist manipulates men. I think the number one thing we have to look at with the female narcissist is she's always going to use her beauty as her main weapon. Because women already know deep down that their beauty is their really sense of pride. It's their just everything that has to do with them. And whenever you as a man are valuing female beauty so much to a point to where you can't just stop thinking about it, to where you become obsessed with it, where you become so infatuated with one woman because of her beauty. This is a way for the female narcissist to manipulate you. And another thing you're going to notice with the female narcissist is everything is always going to revolve around her. And if you were unfortunate like myself to grow up around a few female family members who exhibited some narcissistic behavior, then you already know what I'm talking about. Everything that has to do with your interactions with them, your conversations about whatever it is going on at the time, it's always going to revolve around them having some type of control over you. They're always going to seek to limit the type of dialogue you have for yourself as an individual. And this can be very dangerous, especially when men are untreated from being abused by women who may have came into their lives who were narcissists, and they punished them a lot with verbal abuse. They told them they were nothing and made them feel so just little and small. And that's the main mission of a female narcissist, is to make you as the man feel as small as possible. This is why modern dating is dying now. This is why so many men are opting out of the dating pool, because the narcissistic type of behavior is increasing with women nowadays. And honestly, when you're a man having to live around that for so long, being exposed to someone who doesn't value your needs, someone who disrespects you and blames you for calling them out about it, holding them accountable for it. And this is something that is not good for a lot of men to experience, because if you're growing up around women in your family that are like this, who are very short with you in terms of giving you real understanding, trying their best to guide you through issues that may arise in life, you're going to go out here, by the time you're in high school, a lot of women are going to be able to just wrap you around their finger and get you to do whatever they want, and they'll be able to leave you high and dry like it's nothing. This is why ghosting is a huge problem for men nowadays, because notice the more effort you try to talk to the woman, the more you try to understand her and get with her on an intimate level, she always pulls back. And this is another symptom of female narcissism, is they always pull back whenever you're trying to get emotionally close with them. This is why you still have men who are really good looking guys, who are handsome and are able to attract women, who are in the few percent of men who are able to still get dates like that, still are complaining about the fact that their women aren't listening to them. They aren't trying to be traditional girlfriends and have their backs. So this is why a lot of these men, I tell you, that being good looking isn't going to be enough to save you in 2025. Because as men, we're all facing the same problems, and we're dealing with different levels and toxicity to dark femininity that comes from female narcissism. And another thing you're going to notice about yourself as a man when you're around someone who is a female narcissist, she's really going to drain you of the value you have for yourself. You're really going to feel like you have to disconnect from yourself as a man in order to please this woman. This could be a woman in your family, like your mother, your aunt, your sisters. Whenever you go around them, you're always going to feel like you have to portray yourself to be someone else to appease them, not to make them angry and upset. And this is just the dark, just evilness to this stuff, because this causes a a lot of self-esteem issues in men when they get older and they get out into the dating pool. And this is why a lot of men, when they start dating and getting interested in women, women know right away the men who are damaged emotionally and don't really view themselves to be men. A lot of men view themselves to still be little boys because this is a symptom of growing up around women who are just female narcissists. They're going to make sure to stabilize you to a point to where you don't feel like a man. You don't feel like you're independent. You can't have a certain thought. And they're always going to be thought policing you. And even when it comes to the terms of dating a female narcissist, notice nowadays you see this with a lot of women. They're always thought policing the thought whenever you are trying to be vulnerable with them. Whenever you're expressing your emotions with them, they're like, oh, okay. They're sending you short replies, and it's always a riddle. It's a quest. It's a game dinner. And this shows you how unserious these women are from when it comes to actually looking for a man. Because a lot of these women that are exhibiting and showing the symptoms of being a female narcissist, they're dealing with their own inner struggle and issues of how they view themselves. So now that they've had to go to a toxic frame of mind from what a lot of these media outlets and people were telling them to be like around them, like their parents, their families telling them, you need to be more masculine, girl. You need to be more independent. You need to not take nothing from anyone, especially a guy. When in reality, this sets a lot of women back from truly finding a man whenever they're obsessed about a man's looks 24/7, whenever they're obsessed about the man that has the most money. This stops women from being able to have actual, real, authentic, emotional, long lasting relationships with men. And this is where a lot of these problems stem, and modern men are meeting just the back end of it. And it's brutal out here for the fact that you have to carry yourself in a way as a man to where you can't express any type of emotional affection to girls, because a lot of these women are emotionally unavailable. Women always say that men are emotionally unavailable, and the women who say this stuff are the ones that are exhibiting heavy female narcissistic traits, you see, because the very fact that these women are ending up with men who are emotionally unavailable, this should tell you that this is something that they're attracted to. Because if these women wanted men who were respectful, men who were emotional, kind, who were vulnerable with them, they would be dating these guys right now. We wouldn't be needing to make tons of videos on this topic, and you wouldn't have women complaining online and saying that they can't find a good man. The problem is the term of what these narcissistic women, as they like to put it, as what they call a good man. The term that they're using for good man is how good looking is he? How much money does he have? How tall is he? And this is not a way to real affection. It's obvious that a man shouldn't just be poor, broke, and not have anything, or just look like the worst thing out of a horror comic book, obviously. But to sit up here and hold it to a extent to where decent looking men with all right paying jobs that are getting by, working on themselves, improving, still can't get a date or match with women. This should tell you the type of issues and problems that a lot of women have internally in their own mind and emotions, and the things they grew up around in these very negative, toxic, and dark environments, to where this type of behavior is inspired to have women act this way. So whenever we get on the topic of a female narcissist and she comes across a man that is actually valuable and it's not like the other guys who she's dated in the past, she can't help but want to try and tear that guy down. Because in a way, when she's belittling you as a man, making your self-esteem feel like it's going down and ghosting you 24/7, it's a way that she's feeding her ego. It's a way for her to feel like she's getting revenge on her ex-boyfriend who did her wrong in the past. And this is something that you really want to avoid as a man. This is why I say men as a whole have to avoid dating at all costs in 2025, because more women are just like this. And our society is not making it any better. So if you want to do yourself a favor, always carry yourself with high regards for yourself as a man. Always be looking out for your own benefit, especially when it comes to dating women nowadays. Because a lot of these women who are very beautiful, who are soft spoken, who claim that they want a man who's worth something and has a good background, a lot of these women are still battling with themselves. They still have a bunch of negativity in their system that they haven't worked out yet, and they're still living in the past. And when we ever are wondering about why women are living in the past, it is because they can't get over that sense of that false self of them not being able to have that top tier guy that was just implemented into them by society, telling them, here's this dopamine fix right here, here's this better looking guy right here, here's this guy who didn't want you at all, but now you have tons of other men that want you, and now you can reject them. So it's a just very toxic and evil negative cycle of rejection on both sides. And the decent and everyday modern man and men who are sub 5 are always going to be the ones meeting the most torment of it. But you guys take care. Like and subscribe if you're new. Tell me what else you guys want me to elaborate on in the comment sections. I would highly appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. And like I always tell you guys, stay away from the modern woman. Thank you.